What a week one game in College Station. Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Hat tip Notre Dame and anyone who has the stones to schedule big time. Every game's out of conference for them, but you get what I mean. Big time opponents in week one and to go on the road and do it. Hat tip Notre Dame. All right. Now, how's Notre Dame going to find a way to win this game? You're not going to see many folks picking Notre Dame. They're a 2.5-point dog. And yet it feels like the Clemson-Georgia game in terms of looking at, straight up picks to win this thing. Notre Dame, paper popper of a stat here, maybe. 6 of their last 7 games versus the SEC decided by one score. A&M, 0-4 in one-score games last year. A&M, 6-1 at home last year, 0-4 on the road. Make of all that what you will. Texas A&M's defensive front against Notre Dame's offensive line by 10 miles is the matchup everyone will talk about most. Coming into this one, they should. The Notre Dame offensive line, get ready to hear this stat all week, 6 combined starts on this offensive line. They are plugging a true freshman in all likelihood, at left tackle against Nick Scorton. And Kyle Field. Just to add insult to injury, you get 110,000 and you get one of the best edge rushers in the game, and you were in high school 4 months ago. So let's have fun with that. The rotation opposite of Nick Scorton, of just former 4- and 5-star talent all over the place. People have lost their minds if they think Mike Elko is having to rebuild or start over at A&M. Shamar Stewart is still here. DJ Hicks is still here. Shamar Turner, Gabriel Brownlow-Dendy. These are all former 5-star guys who will start or play significant minutes for Texas A&M Saturday night against guys who are going to be baptized in the whitest hot of fires imaginable this sport offers. Doesn't mean they can't win, though. Just means it's going to be really tough there. Riley Leonard is the quarterback at Notre Dame now. And Riley Leonard was the quarterback at Duke last year. His head coach was Mike Elko, who is now the head coach at Texas A&M. Who does that favor? I'm going to leave that up to you. I will tell you, this is the 5th week one quarterback Notre Dame has had in the last 5 years. So not a lot of consistency in that front. There are plays to be made against this A&M secondary. There are probably plays to be made. Chris Mitchell's a transfer receiver they got from FIU, 1,000-yard guy last year. Do you have time? Can that offensive line give him any time? It won't consistently be there. But in a game low scoring, you see the total here at FanDuel, it's 46.5. In a game that figures to be this low scoring, you know as well as I do what these games look like. It looks very plodding and very slow and 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And then all of a sudden someone hits a slot receiver and he shakes one tackle and gets loose down the sideline. Boom, he's inside the 5, 1st and goal, gain of 46, and the game just turned. And the quarterback was 1 for his last 8 for 12 yards. But it doesn't matter because that one play just sprung him, got him down in the red zone. They tack on 7. That's the difference in a game that ends 23-20. That's the way this game probably plays out. So I don't expect a consistent barrage in the passing attack. Can they hit a few of them? And in the process, can they avoid turning the ball over? Connor Wigman season, man. Quarterback there for Texas A&M. It's Connor Wigman season, and it's Connor Wigman's season. They're taking sort of a running back by committee approach, it feels like, at Texas A&M. This Notre Dame defensive line and that linebacker core, well, I'll tell you, the secondary as well. I trust them. Look, they can clamp down on Texas A&M as well. Don't think they can't. I've heard some people break this game down and just talk about how many insurmountable edges A&M has. These are not insurmountable edges. You got one that's a big one. But look, Notre Dame could throw the crowbar in A&M's offensive bicycle spokes as well. So don't think it's impossible to go to the half here with a 9-6 kind of game. That's very possible. Offensive line play last year at A&M was bad in pass pro. So if you got all that fixed, and they're well on their way to doing it because they hired the right guys, but if you've got all that fixed, that's wonderful. You're going to have to prove to me that you did that over the course of one spring and summer and fall. Lengthy drives, like I said, very unlikely. 2 or 3 explosive plays, I think, decide this. Great offensive coordinator matchup here. Colin Klein. Elko went and hired Colin Klein. And you notice they went and got a few tight ends out of the transfer portal. Really good at using those guys. And then you got Mike Denbrock, who was last seen winning a Heisman with Jaden Daniels, and he's up at Notre Dame now. Colin, let's take a look at what the model thinks. We see FanDuel right now has A&M minus 2.5. The model has it a little tighter than that. Got A&M minus 1. Now, I know I just made the case for Notre Dame. I didn't make a good enough case. I think A&M is going to win the game. I think they're going to cover. I went on CBS Sports HQ earlier this week, and I said, I think the winner of this game will make the playoff. Winner of this game may make the playoff, guys. So if I got Texas A&M winning it, and I'm looking at the odds to win the whole thing right now, and A&M is kind of sort of up there, I'm just saying we're going to learn a lot about A&M come Saturday. And I think a lot of people are going to realize the cupboard wasn't nearly as bare as it felt. A little shot of CEO, a little shot of organization, and a shot of newness may have been just what the doctor ordered at Texas A&M. Cooper Pategna put out the 24/7 Sports Team Talent Composite the other day. A&M seventh most talented roster in the country. Not a long way off. Not a long way off at all. He immediately upgraded it at Duke. Immediately. Because if you've got some of the right ingredients in the kitchen and you've just had a know-nothing in there and they hadn't made a good meal, sometimes that threw Jimbo under the bus a little bit too much. But if you bring a better chef in, sometimes he can make you a little bit better meal without having to go to the store. That's about as meemaw as I can get on it.